Time now for the hot sauce, and this one definitely has everybody talking today. It's about the classic Buffalonian rivalry.
The new cover story for the issue of Buffalo magazines that hits stands June 30th will kind of conquer an issue that affects every Western New York suburbanite, whether you live in Amherst or Tonawanda, Orchard Park, or East Aurora, and that is Northtowns versus Southtowns.
I think this is hilarious. We've got Jen Rung here, the Buffalo magazine editor, and Jen, everybody is talking about this on Winging It today. We can't get enough of it. Northtowns versus Southtowns. You guys tackled it in the newest issue here. We got to take a peek at the cover first of all, because Matt and I were both wrong. We were trying to figure out which one was Northtowns versus which one was Southtowns, and we thought it was. Well, we were wrong. Jen, you go ahead and explain which one's which.
Well, this is Northtowns. The brunette is Northtowns because she's very glamorous, and I think that's one of the stereotypes of Northtowns is very glamorous and very well dressed. I mean, they're both very well dressed.
Yes.
And then the blonde is Southtowns, and she is a little bit more natural, down to earth. Another stereotype that.
So we're talking about stereotypes.
We are.
These are things that are meant to sort of poke fun a little bit, parody a little bit, and maybe get to a little bit of a deeper meaning.
Right. Well, I think there's this underlying rivalry that we kind of talk about, but we don't really talk about. I think in the end, we're all very similar, and I think there's a kind of a regional cultural thing. However, there is still this underlying rivalry and these stereotypes that continue over the years. So that's exactly what we do. We poke fun. We talk a little bit about the stereotypes, and we dive into that a little bit.
I feel like it's a little bit almost like a sibling rivalry that, you know, Northtowns versus Southtowns. But if somebody comes from outside of town and tries to bash on Buffalo, both sides will then jump on that person. So you can't do that. But
we do have a panel full of all of the different stereotype comparisons. So why don't we pull that up so we can talk about some of them? Now, what are some of the main comparative sort of stereotypes that we're talking about?
Well, I mean, some of the things, we did sort of an informal poll of staffers and people in our office and people outside the office, and some of them are right there, like Northtowns is new money, Southtowns is old money. Some of the funnier things, you know, Northtowns flashy lawyers, Southtowns college professors. Northtowns wine bars, Southtowns tractor pulls. And these are the things that, you know, people think that the Southtowns, people in the Northtowns often think that the Southtowns are like a little backwards in cow country, and that the Northtowns is all, you know, strip malls and chain restaurants.
Now, I have to say, when I heard about the story, I was like, I don't really have a Northtowns, Southtowns identity, but I will have to say, whenever I have to make a trip to the Northtowns, I live in the Southtowns, I always joke that I need my passport. I'm always like, oh, do we have a full tank of gas? Because I'm not sure if we're going to make it. Like, I hope customs isn't too long when I go over the border.
Well, you know, what's interesting, too, you live in the Southtowns now, but you grew up in the city. And, Jen, you said there's actually a section devoted to people who live in the city.
Yes, there's also an essay from a devoted city dweller. And I think that is something unto itself also, where people who live in the city don't want to leave the city.
So those people from South Buffalo, North Buffalo, and Buffalo Central will all sort of also get something from that, that magazine.
I think it's great. I can't wait to read it. When can we read it?
Sunday. On stands, newsstands, and in the news.
That's right. And if you get your paper like I do every Sunday, it'll be in the paper, so you don't have to worry about it. But you can go out and buy it if you wish to. Jen, thanks. I think it's really interesting and a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And remember, it is parody, so hopefully no actual fights will break out over this.
All fun, all good fun.
Time now to see what Emily Lenahan's working on this